It's a Duck Boat Dispatch emergency episode. The college football bracket was announced last night. We need to react to because there is controversy, there is surprise, there is anger. We'll get into all of that. So joining us today on this emergency episode, no Josh, no Sarah. They're working their real jobs right now. We have our college football expert, Tyler Duffey, joining us today. And once you see what Tyler is wearing, I don't know why I call him that. I'm never thinking Tyler is wearing. Once you see what Duff is wearing, you will know exactly who he's rooting for. Duff, let's Bama Blitz.
Let's Bama Blitz. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be back.
Great to have you.
My first appearance didn't go too well, so.
No, we're already off. I mean, the fit.
Happy for redemption. I'm set up this time, at least.
The Bama beanie with the baseball hat over the. It's a look. I don't know if it's a look, but it is. I don't know if it's the look, but it is a look.
Yeah, I'm sweating already because of this hat, but that's okay.
Do you have
do what you gotta do?
The pajama pants on as well?
I do have pajama pants on.
Wow.
Actually.
Even though that's not.
Sorry, not the Bama ones. I should have done that though.
I was gonna say full commitment, even though that's not on camera. But let's get right into it. College football playoff bracket was announced last night. One seed is gonna be Indiana, and their quarterback, who's probably gonna win the Heisman. His name is escaping me.
Fernando Mendoza.
Yes, one of the greatest
Mendoza.
post-game interviews of all time. That was hysterical. Oh, the glory to God! We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of the coaches and staff. We're flipping champs! Like, that was hilarious. Love that. I can root for that guy now until he gets drafted by the Jets and his career is over in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that's your one seed. Your two seed is the Ohio State, who would have won that game had they not shanked a kick, if I'm correct.
That was to tie it, but same deal. They were probably losing that game. They had no momentum.
Well, they lose the game because of a 28-yard field goal attempt. It is wide right. It's shanked. Tough day to be that kicker. And then your three seed, go Dogs. Your Georgia Bulldogs are your three seed. They're now your staple, as Bama once was. I feel like Georgia is now your staple, going to be good almost every single year college football team. And then rounding on at number 4, you have Texas Tech. And then the first round matchup is going to be JMU versus Oregon, Bama versus Oklahoma, which we will get into. I'm sure of it because of what my guest is wearing today. We have Miami versus Texas A&M, and those are going to be your college football playoffs. So right off the bat, Duff, the big story, Notre Dame not in the playoffs. Give me what is your initial reaction? We'll get into maybe the reasoning why, but should Notre Dame be in this playoff bracket?
So I think realistically they probably should be in, but at the same time, I got a little bit of bias here. Everyone's like Bama should be below Notre Dame, obviously because we got blown out in an SEC championship. I can't even deny that. But Notre Dame, the reason they're not in is their strength of schedule was weak and the two games they played, or the two real games they played against Miami and Texas A&M, they lost. And that matters. You need to win one of those games. Win one and you're in. And having a 44th, I think, ranked strength of schedule, that should hurt you. You should, especially if you're not in a conference, that should matter.
So it's no secret to anybody who watches the pod, knows me. I am not a big college football guy. It's not my blood. It really isn't. So some of these things that I'm seeing are the first time I'm hearing about this. So one of the things that deters me from getting into college football is the conferences make no sense to me. The SEC, the Big Ten is no longer really 10 teams. Like the the Pac-12 or something like that? Power 5.
Pac-12 is dead.
Yeah, Pac-12 is dead. So even then, I'm behind on that. You have the Power 5. You have the only one I understand is the ACC because BC's in it. So the Atlantic Coast Conference. I get that one. So
Yep.
Notre Dame not being in a conference, explain this to me like I'm a simpleton because I am. What is the benefit of them? Because it really seems only to tear them, hurt them now because they missed the playoffs. But what's the benefit of them not being in a conference? Why do they not want to be in a conference?
So I'm pretty sure it's based on a prestige factor. They think they're better than being in a conference because they've never been in a conference ever. So they're just out here thinking they're better than everyone else, and it doesn't apply to them. Every other Notre Dame sports team is in the ACC aside from hockey. So I don't understand why in football they want to be independent so bad. It just doesn't make sense. It just in a year like this year, if they're in the ACC, they are probably going to win that conference, or at least be a part of the championship game at least, and that gets you in. So it's just weird. It's a weird thing.
So then with Notre Dame out, they're no longer going to play in it. They're not accepting any bowl invites, which is whatever, because now with the expanded college football playoffs, who really gives a hell about the bowl games anymore? Anyways,
Yeah.
nobody plays in them.
Yep.
So like, whoop-de freaking do, you're really making a stand here, Notre Dame. Go Irish, whatever the hell they are. So Notre Dame's out. That's the big story. Should they be in? Should they not be in? We'll come back to that later. JMU is a team that I'm seeing the most about, besides maybe Bama or Miami, because they were the teams that got in over Notre Dame, or they jumped up over Notre Dame in the standings. JMU and James Madison, everybody's telling me this is the team that really does not belong in the playoffs.
So technically they shouldn't be, but like the rule book says, it's the best 5 conference champions, and JMU is one of the best 5 conference champions, and that's why they're in. They're not in as like an at large, like whatever. They're only in because they won a conference championship. And a lot of people are upset about this whole group of 5, which is like the smaller conferences compared to the Power 4. And they're all upset just because they're like, these teams are not going to compete at all, which is probably true. JMU is probably going to get blown out. But again, if you go off like the rules that the CFP has in place, JMU should be in because they are better than Duke. Like if Virginia wins, JMU is out. They are not in the college football playoff. And Duke, I don't think deserves to be in because obviously I believe they were 8-5 after that game, and that's not CFP criteria.
Okay, so so there's 5 college football conferences. Is 5 conferences. Each conference champion makes the playoffs, correct?
So not technically. The group of 5 is like it's basically all the smaller conferences bunched up, and it's basically theoretically it should just be the best group of 5 conference champion. But since the ACC sold the bag this year with Duke winning, it caused some chaos because then it leaves two small conferences in the playoffs.
All right, okay. I see what you're getting here there. Okay,
Yep.
so JMUN, they play Oregon. Oregon was the favorite last year. They lost in the first round. Assuming that's not going to happen this year, we'll break down each individual matchup in about 15, 20 minutes. But I just want to start with the bigger stories around the college football playoffs. The one that so big, it seeped into my realm of sports stories and drama that I caught up with, and it's the Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss story. So Ole Miss, if you're unaware, in the middle of a playoff run, they make the college football playoffs. They played Tulane. I believe they're a 5. Ole Miss is a 5 seed. So
5-6, whatever. Same
yeah,
thing.
they're one of those mid seeds. Lane Kiffin leaves in the middle of the season, right before the playoffs start, to go be the head coach of LSU. Now, I talked about it last week with Josh and Sarah on the episode. You can go back on the Duckboat Dispatch YouTube page, catch the full thing. There's a quick little clip on TikTok if you want to go check that out as well. It just seems so scumbaggy to me. It seems so disingenuous, abandoning the kids and the players at the fans, all the kids at the school, the players, all the staff at the school as well. How do they fix this? How do they make it so that doesn't happen again? Because I think it really is a black eye on the whole college football playoffs, because this is going to be one of the biggest stories, is that this coach abandoned their team for $90-some million to go to LSU.
Yeah, so the reason he had to leave so abruptly is it's probably a mix of 2 things. It has to do with Ole Miss. He went to a rival school. Ole Miss is probably saying, "Get out of town. We don't want you here if you're not bought in our program." And then also, like the recruiting cycle for college football is just ridiculous. So like if they're going to pay him this much money at LSU to be their head coach, and he has so much access to NIL money, they want him immediately out there trying to get the best of the best. So it's really a flawed system with the recruiting, because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the recruiting cycle is like 50 of the 52 weeks of the year, which is just absurd because compared to college basketball, I think college basketball is only in like the 30 week range, which is just absurd to me. I don't understand.
Obviously, the reasoning for that is going to be there's way more money. I don't want to break your heart. There's way more money in college football than college basketball. Way more money.
Absolutely.
I don't want to break your heart there. Yeah, just scumbag of a story. So we can touch up more on that when we get to the actual game. But who is coaching who is in charge of this Ole Miss team now? And have the players spoken out? Is there anything going on there, like a vibe you've gotten from them at all?
So right now, Pete Golding, who was Ole Miss's D coordinator, has taken over. And funny enough, he used to be Bama's D coordinator a few years ago with Saban. I actually didn't like Pete Golding that much. I didn't think he was the guy, but it seems like he's getting his guys here at Ole Miss like rallied up and like ready to make a playoff push. because obviously Kiffin just bailed and took all the offensive staff. So like the only way Golding has a shot to get these guys going for the playoffs is if he can truly just get them amped up. Honestly, probably play for a hatred for Kiffin right now. That's probably going to like lead to like a true push for them. And when you said like how do players feel? Kiffin has tried to make it seem like he really wanted to coach Ole Miss in the playoffs, which he probably did, but all the players are making it seem like he wanted nothing to do with them once he took this LSU job. I've seen some tweets, I don't know from who exactly, but they're like, this dude's full of crap. He's full of shit. Sorry if I can't say that, but
No, you're good. You're good.
like they're like he wants nothing to do with us. He wanted out once he took that job, and like I said, they might be playing with a hatred for Kiffin right now.
And I hope so. I have no dog in this fight. I'm not wearing I'm not dripped out in team gear like you are right now, Duff. So I have no dog in this fight, but I think it'd just be the ultimate middle finger F you to Lane Kiffin if Ole Miss, in spite of him, goes all the way to the Natty and ends up raising that trophy.
For sure.
But yeah, just scumbag move. We'll get into that in a little bit about how because it just seems like every single year when it comes this time, there's something wrong with college football playoffs. Now, I believe this is the second year of the expanded playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Bang. So it's better than it used to be, obviously, because it used to just be the 4 teams, and it was pretty much always going to be a Bama, a Georgia, a Clemson, a sneak in, Oklahoma one time, maybe Texas A&M. It was just going to be the same set of 10 teams, just kind of
Love that
rotating
you left out Ohio State. Thank you for doing that.
Well, it just kind of, I'm thinking about, I'm not, I haven't even said, Michigan could have been in there, the Ohio State University. It's just teams that are pretty much aren't like right in front of my face, even though the Ohio State is right there in front of me below Georgia. So yeah, it's better than it used to be, but the system still needs to be improved. My biggest issue with this whole thing, and maybe I'm just a casual who doesn't understand how the playoff committee works, I think it is the dumbest thing ever that the playoffs are decided by a bunch of old white dudes in a back room with the doors shut. There's no actual, as we talked about, the first 5, JMU, Texas Tech, Indiana, Georgia, Ohio State, they all win their conference championships, so they get a lock in there. So there's some sort of requirement there that you have to reach to make the playoffs. But then the rest of them is just, this team's pretty good, we think. Let's put them in there. Or Bama's going to bring more eyes than a Notre Dame. Or a Miami's going to bring more eyes than a Notre Dame, or something along those lines. Or, Notre Dame doesn't want to play by our rules. Let's keep them out. There's too much politics, is what I'm getting at, for the college football playoff system, in my opinion. How do they fix this stuff?
Man, I really don't know unless you go from like a pure like stats and numbers standpoint. Like I don't know exactly how you fix this because realistically, I don't think they go back to like a pure numbers standpoint because I believe that's what they used to do when it was just no playoff at all and just the national championship. They took the top 2 teams based on like some stat number. I don't know, but it's something that probably won't be changed anytime soon. And this year, I'm not going to complain too much about the committee because a lot of people feel my team. Yeah, a lot of people feel my team shouldn't have made it, but not the point. The committee.
What team do you root for?
They're called the Alabama Crimson Tide, if you've ever heard of them.
No, I haven't.
Head coach Kalen DeBoer, successor of Nick Saban, whatever, if that's how you say that. I don't know, whatever. But
he's the guy after Saban, so yeah, he succeeded him.
No, but we'll never say that. Saban's the GOAT. I don't care. No successor. The committee, though, back to that. It's just weird because like there can be so many just like rigged situations, you could say, because like the ACC, for example, crapped the bed this year, and somehow they like magically spawned in, even though Miami was like a pretty clear-cut team to be like out of the picture because they were that 12 spot and they would lose that to those conference champions. So it's just a weird scenario. But like then again, I think it all came down to the head-to-head with Notre Dame, that win at the start of the season. But at the same time, it's like BYU is better than Miami, but not Notre Dame. So it's a weird thing. And it's almost a toss up and you really can't figure that out. I don't know. It's confusing.
And I think a week 1, because it was a week 1 Notre Dame loss kind of holding against them to Miami, correct?
Yeah, but at the same time, this is college football though. So like every week matters. So you could argue like in Bama's situation, they lost to Florida State. That should matter. But when it comes to strictly head to head, I do think you have to honor the head to head.
Yeah, and if that's really what it came down to, Notre Dame or Miami, well, Miami beat Notre Dame. However, I think there's more to the story than that. To me, it's you're going to hold a week one matchup when teams aren't playing their best. Week one, and I don't want to compare it to the NFL, but I'm going to. You see the Patriots lose to the Raiders in week one of the NFL. And the year before, you saw the Bengals lose to the Patriots. Those teams weren't better than the Patriots are better than the Raiders. The Raiders are one of the worst teams in the NFL. And the Bengals last year were absolutely better than the Patriots, who were arguably the worst team in the NFL. So I think to give so much weight to a week one matchup is just a flawed system. And it really is a flawed system. So I'm going to ask you, Duff, in this flawed system, you are the committee. Do they have it right? What would you change if not?
So I think they have it. I like to say they have it right. You can argue, a lot of people, like I was saying, they want Bama out. But at the same time, Bama competed and they shouldn't be punished for winning an SEC title. Or, sorry, getting smoked in an SEC title. That's the complete opposite of what I just said.
Buddy.
Yep, sorry, I was just, But then they also punished BYU for getting blown out, which is different. I can get into that if you want. But then you have the Notre Dame Miami, like that debacle. It's just, I think Notre Dame should have gotten the last spot. But then again, the head to head matters. But Notre Dame obviously has way like better losses, if that's what you want to call it, because Miami's losses were trash. SMU and Louisville are trash losses to have. And like, it's just, there's so much this year where you have no idea what's happening. And I just want to say the reason BYU was dropped is because they played one team all year, and that was Texas Tech, and they got blown out to them twice, including that Big 12 championship game. So BYU, I don't think they were in the mix ever because they're frauds. It was frauds, like, to be honest with you.
And well, I'm glad you answered that because that was what I was going to ask next. If I'm a BYU fan, why am I waking up mad today that nobody's talking about me being snubbed?
Yeah.
But you just answered my question perfectly.
Frauds.
So
sorry to jump.
No, you're good. You're same flow. We're on a great flow today, Duff. It's like we're back in the studio at MLN, bro, all over again.
There we go.
Without Josh, sadly, because he's working at the golf course right now. So the other thing that I've seen about before we start break down each individual matchup to the best of your ability, because I couldn't give you half the players. I couldn't give you like 10 players in college football right now. I can give you Arch Manning, who's not in the playoffs because he sucks. Indiana guy whose name you just said 2 minutes ago.
Fernando Mendoza.
Yep. Is the really skinny wide receiver still on Alabama? What is it, like Ryan Williams?
Ryan Williams, yep.
Yeah. Bang. Is he playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
Is he good?
He's having a bad year.
Bad year? Okay. I know he was gross last year.
Yeah.
I won't pretend to know any college football players until the draft becomes important and I have to tune into it. Although the Patriots might win the Super Bowl, so I might not have to tune into the draft too much. But the one thing I've seen about a potential way to fix the playoffs and make it better, should they up it to a 2014 playoff stuff?
Absolutely not. That is way too much because college football, for the most part, no upsets really happen. It's very rare. And if we just add in more like mid teams, it's like, who cares? Like, it's going to be the same thing as last year with just blowouts in the first round where you're like, oh, these could be games, but they're not. So adding 12 more teams, who cares? It could bring in more money because that's the only reason I can see college football doing that and the NCAA doing that. It's just 24 too much. It's just 12. I think is actually the perfect number.
Well, I mean, I think the argument, obviously, the more money, but then it's you don't have to deal with this controversy every single year, which is, well, why didn't this team make it? It's pretty. If you're debating like, why am I the 25th ranked team and I didn't get in? Like, go kick rocks, buddy. You're the 25th ranked team. You probably weren't going to make a noise anyways. But on the flip side, we see in the March Madness college basketball, every single year, well, besides last year, there didn't really seem to be a Cinderella unless I'm forgetting it. But there's always some sort of, there's a year, 2 years ago where, North Texas Tech went with the big fat guy, went all the way.
NC State?
Final. Yeah.
DJ Burns, baby.
Yeah. And there's always, as we like to say, the Jack Golke was what we were looking for last year, Duff. So
that's the great thing of college basketball, though. That like anything can happen in college basketball. College football, every matchup matters where it's just like one guy cannot carry you past a team that is 10 times better than you.
Agreed. It's much more of you got 22 guys on the field at all time. It's a lot tougher for one guy to do all of the work. But with that being said, do you think last year could have been an outlier where you want to say no upsets happen. Oregon lost. Oregon was supposed to run the table last year, so I would say no upsets happening was a bit of a debatable statement there. But
A
maybe
lot of
last year,
people would say that was a fake upset though, because Ohio State. I know Oregon beat them. They beat them by 1 earlier in the year, and then Ohio State came out and blew them out in the college football playoff.
so then would there's more parity in college football than you believe. But with that being said, let's get to the actual games. Let's get right to Oregon's game. You're not a fan of the 2014 playoff format. Okay, too much. Maybe they move it to an 18 or a 16 or something along those lines, and then you don't have again as many people crying. Any way to bring them NCAA more money? I'm sure they would, because the NCAA is like one of the most fraudulent collections of I don't know, governing bodies of something you want to say of all time. But I don't want to get taken down by the NCAA, so we're going to move on real quick. I believe Charlie Baker runs the NCAA now, so sorry, Charlie Baker.
Yep, I'm pretty sure he does.
So let's get to the first game. We have JMU versus Oregon. JMU, probably the worst team in the playoffs, is what I'm hearing, because they win the ACC, which is just, if BC's in it, you gotta assume it sucks. And who thinks, when you think Atlantic Coast or college football, you don't think Atlantic Coast, you think deep south.
I hate to do this to you. JMU is not in the ACC.
Then what the hell are they in?
They're in the Sun Belt, which is a Group of 5 conference. So that's
the Group of 5 includes the ACC.
No, ACC is a power conference, and that's why there's so much
So what's
chaos
a power conference?
So the power conferences would be the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, and the Big 12. So theoretically, you should have 4 teams guaranteed that the champion of those conferences should be in every year.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
And then the 5th one is just kind of all the smaller ones put together.
Yes. Okay. But this year, obviously, there was the chaos, which led to 2, and that's just.
This is why college football sucks. It genuinely hurts my brain.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I didn't know the Sun Belt was a thing.
Yeah, it's a small one.
Is the Rust Belt a thing, or is that like a geography thing?
The Rust Belt? I don't know.
That's
not a
thing,
college football conference.
It's a geography thing. Oh my god. All right, so JMU, Oregon. Okay. They're not in the ACC. We learn. It's just the stupidest shit.
It's okay, sir. But
JMU, Oregon.
Yes, JMU, Oregon. Basically, Oregon should steamroll this team. Oregon has a better quarterback. I don't even know JMU's quarterback. I'm not even going to pretend to know that. I don't know anyone on that team. I just watched a championship game to see it. I know the coach. That's about it. But Oregon, Dan Lanning, their head coach. Dante Moore, an unreal QB who has the potential to be a solid NFL guy once he's done with college. They are just ultimately much better. JMU, they were in a game with Troy in their conference championship. So you could argue this game is over before it even starts. The one thing JMU has is their head coach. He took the UCLA job, but he's still going to coach his guys in this playoff. So maybe they get
Lane Kiffin can never.
A little bit different though. Not a conference rival he's going to.
And UCLA is obviously a step up.
Yes. And
not that LSU wasn't a step up.
I say Oregon wins this game by about 30 points, unless some magic happens. But like I've been saying, not that many upsets in college football like that. It's probably going to be a boring watch, a little bit of a snooze fest, but I'll still watch every down of football in it, so it doesn't matter.
All right, so you pick Oregon. Let's save the picks. Let's just give the analysis, because we're going to get to your duffel bag of picks at the end of the show, where you pick every single game and, move on to a national championship and a winner. So obviously Oregon right there. And you mentioned the quarterback. Oregon's last 2 draft prospects, Justin Herbert and Bo Nix, looking pretty good in the NFL. So I'm not gonna again, can't say I've watched a lick of Oregon college football, but if you say he looks like he could be pro bound at some point in time, I'm gonna believe you. So we're gonna skip the Bama game because we'll close at that one. We have let's go to Miami versus Texas A&M. Again, Miami, the team that snuck in over Notre Dame. How do you feel about this one?
This game could actually be a toss-up just because A&M, I thought they were like elite all year, and obviously they are elite, not to discredit them, but they got exposed by Texas. So I don't know truly how nasty they are, because A&M played a lighter schedule, to be honest, compared to some of these other powerhouses. But that one could be a toss-up because Miami, Carson Beck, sure they have bad L's, but they're still a very, very talented football team. And the fact that this matchup is actually the 2 teams Notre Dame lost to is pretty ironic. but definitely a toss up. Marcel Reed, A&M's QB, is very good. Like it's a QB battle, good defense battle. This one is definitely, I'd say, the biggest toss up in the first round for sure.
And Beck used to date that like blonde girl, like blonde TikTok
Yep,
basketball girl,
yep,
right?
yeah, yeah, yep, yeah, I did.
Okay, that's why I know of the name. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
There you go.
So then let's go to Tulane versus Ole Miss. It's gonna be my game that I'm gonna watch the most again because the Lane Kiffin outside
Hmm.
drama is just so fascinating to me. Losing your head coach going into the playoffs and trying to see how you rally. He took a lot of his offensive staff away with him to LSU because he's a bitch. What do we got here, Duff? That is
uh,
such a bitch move. If he was, I can't coach here anymore because I'm leaving for a conference rival to get a boatload of money, which I get it. You have to do. It's generational wealth, set up the family. It's
mhm.
a stepping stone. I don't want to say a stepping stone, but it's a step up. LSU is obviously a bigger program than Ole Miss. It's a conference rival, though. You're leaving in the middle of the season. If they wanted you that bad, I'm sure they could have had a handshake deal behind closed doors that when I'm done, the next day I'm on a flight to LSU to officially sign my contract.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
again, and then the last ditch effort to be like, if any of my offensive staff isn't on the plane Sunday morning and being there by Monday, you don't have just what a bum, like such a loser. I'm pretty sure his daughter goes to Ole Miss too, right? No, his
I
daughter
have
goes
no
to
idea.
LSU. I believe. Don't quote me on this, but I believe his daughter goes to LSU and dates the quarterback at LSU. Don't hold me to that, but I feel like there was a lot of drama with the Kiffin family earlier in the season. But anyways, let's
Mm.
get back to the analytical matchup, the expert analysis we bring you in here for, Duff. Tulane versus Ole Miss.
Uh, Ole Miss should win this game by about 1 million points. They actually matched up earlier this season, and Ole Miss beat them. I'm pretty sure it was like 45-10. But again, Kiffin's gone. Who knows? Either either the wheels fall off for Ole Miss here, and they look very bad and shaky, or they blow Tulane out again for that pure hatred for Kiffin, like I was talking about.
I hope they do.
We'll see. Another Group of Five coach here who took an SEC job. He's at Florida now, but then again, he's still coaching his team in the playoffs here. Tulane, like, they're a good team. Their QB has been balling this year. Um, but I just like again, small school playing an SEC school. I don't see an upset happening. It all comes down to the coaching, if this even is a game on Ole Miss's side. But again, your D coordinator just became your head coach. If those defense guys are going to be fired up, and they're probably going to give Tulane hell. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
And then let's close with this game before we head into the Duff's double bag of picks for each game. We have Bama versus Oklahoma, and I know we know which side you're going on here, but feel free to get as deep into the weeds as you want here about the matchup because I know this is the one you're looking at the closest.
So Oklahoma, they've beaten Bama the past 2 years in the regular season, which sucks. But last year they blew Bama out, and that's ultimately what kept them out of the playoffs because they lost 27 to like 7, I think. But this year it was a way closer matchup. Oklahoma came out on top by I think it was 3. It's just it's a matter of if Bama can run the football effectively this game. Problem is Jam Miller, Bama's star running back, he's been banged up all year. He's done for the season now. So it's a matter of if the O line can do their job and let these backups like Daniel Hill. I know you don't know any of these players. I'm sorry, but Daniel Hill's the RB2 for Bama. Very rough game in the SEC championship. -3 rushing yards for the team, which is pathetic. But if this O line can just hunker down and we can run the football effectively, Bama can win this game. Like Oklahoma has a very talented defense, and if the Bama defense can step up and lock down OU's QB John Mateer and their offense, there's a real shot for an upset because OU's offense this year has been extremely inconsistent. Some games they look like a top team in the country, others like poo, just straight poo. But it's just I'm nervous about it because obviously 0-2, but you know what they say in football, it's hard to beat a team twice. So hopefully DeBoer can dial up a good game plan, make the right adjustments, and then we'll see Bama hopefully win.
Bama loses, is the boy's job on the line?
So I don't think so. I think if like it'd have to be an absolute blowout for his job to be on the line. his job was on the line during the Auburn game. That's where it truly was on the line. If he lost that game, he was going to be done as the Alabama head coach. But he got the team to the playoffs. Like, they're in the dance. I don't think Bama will punish him for getting to the dance. Obviously, I don't think he should be fired this year. But if it's an absolute blowout, you might catch me changing my mind.
All right, I know you're not the biggest DeBoer guy. Before we get into your duffel bag of picks, though, give me the rundown on each of the four teams that have the bye. Starting with Texas Tech, the 4 seed. What's the rundown on them?
So Texas Tech, they've been unreal all year. Like, I know the Big 12 isn't as good as it once was because obviously you got teams like Texas and Oklahoma out of there.
The Big 12
But
now doesn't have 12 teams in it, right?
so I think they like move teams around because now like you have like Colorado and Arizona State in the Big 12.
Colorado, like Deion Sanders' team, right?
Yes,
Okay.
they're in the Big 12. Yeah, a ton of conference realignment. It's all a confusing thing. But Texas Tech, they played well all year, and their X factors that can win them a national championship is their linebacker core. Um, I know it's Jacob Rodriguez, and I can't think of his name. He had 2 picks in the Big 12 championship. They played out of their mind. Their coach calls them the mustache crew or whatever because they
They
both
have
have unreal.
mustaches.
They have unreal stashes, unreal, and they just if they lock in and they just ball, they they have a chance. And their offense is obviously talented too. I'm not going to pretend like I know their quarterback's name, but watching them though, they move the ball. They certainly move the ball.
All right, I'm trying to find you the other linebacker's name. You said he had 2 picks in the game against West Virginia.
Yes, he did.
All right, we're gonna go
Oh,
to
sorry, this is bad
defense.
podcasting by
No,
me.
you're good. I don't know
How
any
do
of
I
these
not
guys
know his
anyway.
name? It might be like Ben something, maybe. I don't know.
Ben Roberts.
Yes, that's it.
All right, bang! What a job right
There
there.
we
Yeah,
go. Excellent,
2
excellent work.
Bunch of
Way to
2
be.
L's. Damn. All right, so that's Texas Tech defensive minded squad right there. Let's move to Georgia, the Bulldogs. Go Dogs.
Yeah, as a Georgia hater, of course, I have to give them their props. They're a very good football team. Only loss being to Bama early in the season, but Gunnar Stockton has played very good QB. Ugh, QB play's been good. I'm blanking. I'm sorry. But they obviously move the ball. Their defense is talented. They're pretty unstoppable right now, and I unfortunately had to witness that on Saturday where they just they pick Bama apart in every aspect of the game. I mean, Bama's defense went from being locked in to start that game to a blocked punt that they had, gave them good field position, and then next thing you know, Bama was cooked. That game was over the second that blocked punt happened. Like, they're even showing on special teams why they're an elite team. They definitely have the tools to go all the way. It's a matter of if they just don't choke, basically. But we'll see. We'll see from them.
All right, so speaking of choking, let's go to the Ohio State, the 2 seed. They lose the game off. They lose the chance to go to overtime and win the game with a
Mhm.
missed field goal. What is the rundown of them besides they have a bad kicker?
So Julian Sayin, who is a true freshman quarterback, he's played way above expectations. Obviously, if you're an Ohio State QB, you have high expectations, but he's a talented QB. He's showed out, just constantly playing good. Obviously, not an awesome night in the Big Ten championship, but whatever it happens, freshman moment. He learned. He'll learn from it. And then obviously they have 2 of the best receivers in college football in Carnell Tate and oh my gosh, Jeremiah Smith. Geez, Hall of Fame blank.
I mean,
Those are 2
I
guys.
wouldn't even go to blank, bro. It took you a second. You have these names like a Rolodex. They could be fake names for all I know. I'm gonna be honest
You
with
don't
you.
know
They could be fake
Jeremiah
names.
Smith?
I don't watch college football like that, bro.
Dude, he's gonna be like the top receiver in next year's draft.
Then I'll know about it when the draft cycle comes around.
All
And I start watching
right,
the
fine.
tape.
You did say that.
Start
You
watching,
did say
and
that.
I start watching the All 22, bro.
All right. But yeah, that's like the best receiver core in the country. Anything can happen. Their defense is talented. They held Indiana to 13 points. They did their job. But it really will just be if they're locked in. It's gonna just if they lose, it's gonna be off mistakes. That's really all that's gonna happen. And shitty kicker play.
All right, let's get to the team that benefited from the bad kicker play. And again, just rootable guy at the QB position. Indiana, the 1 seed. Again, this is what I like about the new college football format. You typically wouldn't see an Indiana in this college football format, I feel, even at the 1 seed. So to see them outclass when it comes to the seeding, your Georgias, your Ohio State, your Bamas, your Texas A&Ms, your Miamis. It's a good thing to see. It makes it a lot more interesting. It's not the same teams with the most money now. The NIL is legal and it wasn't backdoor payments, anything like that, before NIL was legit. What's the rundown on Indiana?
So Indiana is just they I think are the top team in the country. I've watched a ton of Indiana this year because they're fun to watch. Like especially with Mendoza, he's a fun guy, good quarterback, and their coach Kurt Signetti. Fun fact, he was at JMU before he came to Indiana, and he has like a grit mindset for this team, and he's just instilled that in them, and they just lock in on defense. They bully you. That's his mindset. He doesn't care who he's playing. They're gonna go out there and try to bully you, and that can win you a national championship if you're gonna just outgrit the other team.
Let's get to Duff's duffel bag of picks. It's time for.
I'm selling. I'm sorry. This is just such a disaster.
With Tyler Duffey.
Boys, I'm not built for this.
He's not an expert, but he's our expert.
I have no info in front of me.
With analysis like.
And he might have contaminated Jamar. You know the good thing about my job is I can suck at it and get complimented for it, so it's great.
Duff's duffel bag of picks.
That's awesome.
I have been sitting on that for months, Duff. I cooked it up so long ago for you when we thought we were going to have you on the pod weekly to do college football picks, but with the schedule, you're still in classes. Sarah's got a job. She's working like 3 jobs. Josh working 2 jobs. I'm working 2 jobs. The stars never aligned to get you on the show weekly. But now that we have you here, let's get your picks for every single college football game we have going. So let's start with your team, Alabama versus Oklahoma. Is the heart going to take over or is the head going to take over, Duff?
Oh no, the heart's going to take over 100%. I'm definitely picking Bama here. It's like I was saying earlier, who knows? Bama's 0-2 the last 2 against Oklahoma. We'll just see if the run game gets going. Ty Simpson finally looks like the once Heisman candidate that he was. And hopefully like a good playbook we got going, good schemes. I'm taking Bama.
All right, so you're taking Bama. No surprise there whatsoever. Let's go to JMU, Oregon. I know you already said it earlier, but let's just get it, make sure it's on tape. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, Oregon. I don't think I need to go in too deep. They're just 10 times better than JMU could probably ever be.
All right, real quick. Let's go to the game that you said might be the most interesting game on the slate. Miami versus Texas A&M.
Yeah, that game's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We'll see. It all comes down to, I think, the quarterback play. Is Carson Beck going to choke like he's kind of known to do? And then will Marcel Reed also, be effective out there? We'll see. It's I really don't know, but give me Miami, I think.
Right.
I think I'm going to go Miami.
And then to close it out in the first round matchups, which take place on
2 weeks from Saturday. 19th, I think.
Yes. 20th.
20th. Yeah, Bama plays on the 19th.
Bang. All right, so a little bit earlier than that. Perfect. So that Friday, Saturday is when they take place. Perfect. 19th, 20th. We have Ole Miss versus Tulane.
Give me Ole Miss. I don't know by how many. We're just going to find out how gritty they are. And do they hate Lane Kiffin, basically? We'll see. But yeah, Ole Miss for sure.
All right, so the bracket I have in front of me now, with Alabama, they'll go on to play Indiana. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's not a lowest seed.
It's not a reseed. It doesn't reseed.
Okay, perfect. So next up we have Indiana versus Alabama.
I don't think I can do it yet. I don't think I can. I think I got to go Bama.
All right.
I'm trying not to be biased here, but
they're your picks.
I don't know.
Nobody else can make them.
They are my picks. They are my picks. I'll try not to be completely biased, but I just something tells me we're just gonna expose like some flaws in the perfect game plan Signetti has for his guys. We're gonna find that flaw. Ty Simpson's gonna be a Heisman again.
All right, love the confidence. Let's go to. It would be Texas Tech versus Oregon is the game you have.
Yep. Like I was saying, those linebackers, I don't know if they pick apart a young quarterback in Dante Moore, but I think I got to go Oregon. I do think they can dial it up and beat that good Texas Tech team because Texas Tech, I don't know if they have any other huge matchups. Like BYU, I think was that elite team. I don't want to take that away from Texas Tech because I love watching them play football, but I think Oregon, they're going to be more battle tested, I guess. And give me the Ducks, I think. Yeah, I'm confident. No, I'm confident.
Quack, quack. BYU is the Mormon school, correct?
Yes. The
Okay, that's
Stormy
why the
Mormons.
name sounds familiar. Isn't that where Baylor Shireman went? Or did he go
No,
to
he
Yale?
went to Creighton.
Creighton?
He went to
It
Creighton.
was one of those blue
Yep.
schools.
He
Close
was
enough.
somewhere before, but I don't know.
No, I couldn't tell. Do they have somebody on their team from BYU, or am I tweaking?
Who, the Celtic?
Yeah. I don't know why I feel like they have somebody on their team from BYU.
Oh, no, I don't think they do.
No, I don't know. It's just because their logo is blue and Creighton's is also blue. That's
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back onto the other side of the bracket now. We have Miami versus the Ohio State.
Ohio State will blow out Miami. Miami will, if they can even get past A&M, they will be blown out. Ohio State's better in pretty much every aspect of the game.
All right, I'm all confident in Miami. And then we have Georgia versus Ole Miss.
This is where, unfortunately, the Ole Miss Lane Kiffin hatred will come to an end because Kirby Smart, no matter what, he senses probably what's going to be going on in this Ole Miss locker room if this game occurs. He's going to just pick them apart like he did Bama in the SEC championship. He's going to expose every flaw Ole Miss has. Give me Georgia.
All right, and then let's go to the third round where you have, is this technically like the conference? No, it's not the conference championships. What do they call this? Because it's the round before the Natty. What do they call it?
I think it's just called like the semifinal. I think that's
stupidest
kind of
thing
what they
ever.
call it.
You got Bama versus Oregon in the semis.
Jeez, wow. I feel fraudulent just because this is definitely a Bama win for me. But I just think like Bama, they're better than Oregon. I just think Bama does have the better quarterback, and like just overall defense, like I just think we can put up points on Oregon. That's just how I feel. It's just a matter of if Bama can be locked in on defense, Bama should win this game.
All right. Didn't you say
you
earlier that
you hate these picks?
No, it's your picks. If you want to be a dumbass, it's not my it's your prerogative to be wrong. I don't know if they're gonna be wrong or not because I don't know college football like that to tell you that you're a dumbass. But didn't you say earlier that the Oregon quarterback could be like NFL bound? Like he has potential?
But like obviously he's still young. There's gonna probably be flaws, and Bama's defense, as long as they're healthy, people aren't talking enough about Bama. Just was not healthy at all for that SEC championship. I just want to make that clear. But a healthy Bama defense should be able to like lock in and like contain him for sure.
All right. So that's Bama over Oregon. So then let's go to Ohio State versus Georgia. This is a marquee. Like even I know this is a marquee college football matchup.
Oh, yeah, this should be a great game. Like again, another elite matchup of QBs with Gunnar Stockton and Julian Sayin. But I just think Ohio State can beat Georgia. I think they will beat Georgia. And I'm usually not a true freshman is going to get it done guy in these big moments, but Sayin has, like I said, he's overachieved by a million, I'd say. And they got the better receivers. The defense is pretty even, I'd say. Could be wrong. Call me a fraud, whatever. But Ohio State, I think Ohio State gets it done here just because their passing and run game is just, it's more elite than Bama's by quite a lot, unfortunately. I hate to say it. But I think Ohio State gets it done over Georgia. And then I'm left with a terrible
Bama versus the Ohio State for your national championship matchup.
I think this is where I stop the Bama bias. I think this is where I cave in. I think Ohio State's going back-to-back this year as we go through the bracket here. Ugh, I hate saying that. I love just being biased. I love being biased. Ugh, that's like Bama, you could argue better QB-ish, I guess, like not really. And unfortunately, Ryan Williams has kind of underperformed this year. So, like, we're going to get exposed at points for not having the better receiving core. I love Jeremy Bernard and Williams, but they're not better than Tate and Smith by pretty long shot. And if Ohio State's defense is locked in, like, and we don't have a running back basically at the moment, like, I think that's where it ends. I'm just exploiting Bama's like lighter matchups, I guess. Realistically, we get blown out by Indiana in the second round if we win, but I like my picks. I'm confident.
All right, so take your bias out of it. Does Bama go to the national championship? If you're talking from a pure, non-biased, analytical,
If I'm a random person, a neutral party, we probably lose to Indiana. That's my legit bet because I've been hyping up that Signetti grit mindset. I just don't know if DeBoer can get the guys to match that. Should I feel like I have to change my bracket now because I said
Those
that.
are your picks. You don't have to change stuff. We just went through it for 15 minutes. We're not going to change it at the last minute. Okay? What you said, your word is your bond.
All right,
Okay?
yep.
You took
Bama's
you're
at least
wearing
getting
the
to the
stupid
national
hat and
championship.
beanie and shirt. Roll all the way with it.
Stupid? Don't call it
Bro,
stupid.
did
What
you
are
ever
we
read the
doing?
Nate the Great books growing up in like middle school? All right.
Not.
You got to look it up. That's what you look like right now with the hat on.
Good.
Take a picture on your phone. You look just like it. It's cracking me up on the side. But I'm super glad to have you here. You took Ohio State as your national champion. Now, I'm not going to pick every single game. I'm just going to say I want Ole Miss to go all the way. And I really think it'd just be such a special moment if they go all the way to win the Natty in Lane Kiffin's face just to kind of give him the middle finger same way he did on the way out for them. That's going to do it for this emergency episode of the Duck Boat Dispatch, college football playoff reactions, predictions, all of those things. Is there anything that we missed, Duff, that you want to say before we go?
I'd say we covered it all.
All right. Well, Duff, it was great to have you on. I appreciate you
Thanks
making
for
the time
having
on
me.
your busy schedule. I know you have finals, and I know Sarah's going to see all of this and blow a gasket and want to talk to you. So we need to get you on the pod at some point in time with Josh and Sarah and really get your whole Bama Clemson thing going on. We'll talk some ball. Maybe we'll bring back where did this basketball player play college football? Maybe college basketball, my bad. Maybe we'll bring that back at some point in time. The Celtics are rolling, so we have stuff to talk about. So
Yeah,
we'll
for
see
sure.
the next time we talk to you. Hopefully it's not as long as it was between the last time we talked to you when you couldn't figure out how to join. So I'm really glad that the college you're paying for is paying off. That's going to do it, though, for this emergency episode of the Duck Boat Dispatch. Subscribe on YouTube at the Duck Boat Dispatch, Instagram and TikTok at the Duck Boat Dispatch. If you see the TikToks, like, comment, repost. Don't be a douche in the comments, okay? We don't want that. There was a few of those last week. Don't be a douche. We're talking pure sports analytics here, ball knowledge. Don't be a douche. Be a friend, tell a friend, share with a friend. It goes a long way. We appreciate it. Josh, Sarah, and I will be back on Thursday with another episode number 30, reacting to week 14 of the NFL season and getting set for a hat and t-shirt game with the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills on Sunday.